Okay, so what I was attempting to say just before we ran out of time there was we're going to do 5 cases for converging or concave mirrors. And so I've already cheated and I've set my page up so that it will be easier for me to draw. You can always pause the video and do that. I can't because as soon as I pause the video, YouTube wants to upload it. You might also want different colors of pens. I would have at least 3, maybe 4. I actually do have 4, but for you, you can use pencil crayons or markers or whatever, but I think it'll just help you keep straight what we're doing. Okay, so now what's going to happen is we're going to use these 3 rays that we just discovered. A ray going in parallel to the principal axis has to come out through F. A ray going in through F has to come out parallel to the principal axis. And a ray that goes in through C gets reflected back along C because if it's going in through C, it's hitting the mirror at the normal, at perpendicular. Now, we can use any kind of ray. You can draw a ray at any angle, it'll hit the mirror, and we could figure out its reflection by using a protractor. But we don't really want to have to use a protractor to measure the angle every time. So knowing these 3 rays makes our sketches quicker and easier, and it'll allow us to find our images easier. Okay? So I said a minute ago there are 5 cases. Now what I mean by that is we're going to place our object at some spot with respect to the mirror, and then we're going to find our image. Then we'll move our object to a different spot and find our image. And the cases are broken up with respect to C and F in the mirror. So the first case is we're going to put the object beyond C. Okay, so my object is beyond C, and maybe I'll draw my object, in the blue. Okay, so my object is out here. I'm going to make it a stick man again, only this time I'm going to make sure its feet are below the line, that it's not just above the line. And I'm going to use 2 different colors for my rays. I have purple and orange. So take a color, and from the top of the head, we're going to draw these rays in the same color. I hope the purple isn't too close to the blue. We'll find out. So we have to pick 2 of our 3 rays that we just learned. Okay, that we're going to use wherever they were. Okay, so from the top of the head, you could pick a ray going in parallel, the paper keeps moving, going in parallel to the principal axis. And when it does that, it gets reflected through F. Now there are some of you I know that are getting a ruler to do this, so you'll be pausing me constantly. Okay, that's ray number 1. Now we could use all 3, because if you notice back here, when I used all 3, they did all cross at the same spot, right? And that's where the image must be. But for expedient purposes, to go faster, we'll only be using 2. So the second one, let's go in through F. Oops, it's going to miss F. Okay, so I guess I'm going to go in through C. So go in through C. It's because the paper moved as I went to start to. And don't lift your hand, because if you do, it changes. Go in through C, and it's going to get reflected back out through C. There we go. Okay, so that's my purple one. So from the same color, with the same color, do the 2 rays from the top. Now we're going to do the same thing from the bottom. With a different color, from the bottom, pick 2 rays that you want to draw. So again, let's go in parallel to the principal axis. And it's going to get reflected through F. And then this time I really am going to try to go in through F. And it gets reflected parallel to the principal axis. So then our image that is formed, where the purple ones cross, which is down here, they came from the head. So this is my head. And where the orange ones cross, they came from my feet. So this is my feet, and that's really awful to see. Let me see if black is better. Yeah, except you can't tell. Okay, so there's my image. What are its characteristics? Well, it's definitely inverted. And if it's inverted, it means it's real. So it's real, inverted. Look at its size. It's smaller. And where is it? It's between C and F. So when the object is beyond C, the image ends up being real, inverted, smaller, and between C and F. And so in homework questions, if they ask you to locate the image using ray diagrams, they want you to do just this. Draw it, put the object where they tell you it is, beyond C or wherever. Draw the two rays from the top, the two rays from the bottom. Where the reflected ones cross, that's where the image is going to be. The separate colors help us to see, because look at all the crossing. If they weren't in separate colors, it would be almost impossible to tell which one was the head and which one was the feet. Okay, case number 2. So this one was the first one was the object beyond C. We're going to move the object in now, and the object's going to be at C. Okay, so here's my object at C. Now obviously if my object is at C, I am not going to be able to use the ray going in through C. So using purple again from the top, a ray going in parallel to the principal axis. It's because my paper's slanted. It's not parallel to the principal axis. A ray going in parallel to the principal axis gets reflected so that it comes out through F. And then you would have to use a ray going in through F, gets reflected parallel to the principal axis. Okay? Orange from the bottom, a ray going in parallel to the principal axis, gets reflected through F, and a ray going in through F gets reflected parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so look at where the purple ones cross down here. That's going to be my head. I'm going to try a different color for my image this time, maybe pink. Okay, so this is going to be my head. And where the orange cross, this is going to be my feet. And if you look, the head of my image starts where the feet of my object ends, and the head of my object starts where the feet of my image ends. So what does that mean? It means the image, well, it's inverted, so it's real. It's inverted. It's the same size. And it's at C. So the object's beyond C, the image ends up being between C and F. As we move the object in, the image moves out. And so when the object gets to C, the image is at C as well. So now case number 3 is going to be the object between C and F. Okay, so we're going to put our object here between C and F. We're going to use our purple from the top. And so again, I like the one going in parallel to the principal axis because it's usually the shortest one to draw. An object going in parallel to the principal axis gets reflected through F. An object going in through F, turn this around. Now I have to turn it back, comes out parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so the head's going to be down here. Switching colors with my orange from the bottom, an object going in parallel to the principal axis gets reflected through F. And you're all saying, how come you're not using through C? So okay, fine, I'll use through C, but I have to cheat. So an object going in through C, I don't know how to turn the paper so I can do this with one hand. It's going to go through C, it's going to hit the end, and it's going to hit my mirror, but it really isn't going to hit my mirror because my mirror isn't long enough.